I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Once again, welcome back to another review. This is another paid request, this time from loranfrancisco. Thank you so much for that. Paid request to be made to either of the links down below in the info box. But it's for Extraction. Now, I didn't realize this came out in 2020, and it's another film to add to the list of movies I have enjoyed this year. And I did like the film. It does have some flaws, but overall I thought it was straightforward, entertaining, because pretty much the movie is, what if Thor kills a lot of motherfuckers? The movie. That's really the alternate title for this film. Thor kills a lot of motherfuckers. The movie. And sometimes that's all you want in a film. And again, it does have some issues, but it's from a first-time director. There's a guy who had really done stunt work and behind the scenes on action, and he had worked with the Russo brothers, the guys who did Avengers Infinity War, Endgame, all that stuff. And I guess they're like, hey, we worked with Chris Hemsworth on the Avengers films, here's your chance to direct. And one of the things I liked about the film is the action is very well done. It's definitely violent, it's definitely rated R. I like Chris Hemsworth as an actor. He doesn't always pick the best scripts though. I mean, Red Dawn remake was bad. Blackout, I think it was called, with Michael Mann. One of Michael Mann's most boring films. But this one, it's cliche. It's stuff you've seen before. He plays a mercenary with a past. Of course, one of the things in his past is he had a kid who died. He drinks. He's in isolation. He has a death wish. He's hired with these other mercenaries to find this kid, only this time it's in India. So maybe he's trying to be a little bit of man on fire, a little bit. The villain, nothing really special about the villain. Kind of your typical run-of-the-mill type of villain. Your plot, pretty much, him and his team go in, he kills a bunch of people, he gets the kid, supposed to take it back to this rendezvous for extraction. He gets betrayed, him and the kid on the run. So that's what I mean. It's nothing that you haven't seen before. You've probably seen it 40 times if you watch action films as much as I have. And there's nothing that's surprising. It's predictable. With that said, I kind of look at what do I want at the end of the day for this kind of film. I want a hero that I like either because of the character or the personality or just because I like the actor. In this case, it's just because I like the actor Chris Hemsworth. I want quite a few action scenes, which I got, and I want them well done and choreographed, which I thought they were. It's R-rated, which was nice. And kind of hit the buttons that I wanted. Does that make sense? It's like back in the 90s or 80s, you watch an action film that, yes, you know it's not high art, and yes, you know you've seen dozens and dozens of times, but at the same time, it's a rainy night, or things are not going well, or whatever, and you watch and you go, you know what? I got Chris Hemsworth running and gunning, and there's scenes where he hits a table and hits the table right into a guy's face, or he hits a guy in the neck, or he does a suplex and breaks a guy's neck, or he impales a guy's face into a piece of a rake. I think this is what it was, like a rake. Or there's these little kids trying to fuck with him, and he's like, oh, it's the Goonies from hell, and these little kids, he's beating the shit out of them, or bitch slapping them, or throwing their ass into windows, or kicking them. Just these, yeah, they're kids, but they have guns, and he's like, I ain't having that shit. Or there's a scene where he takes a guy, picks him up, throws the body, and there's another guy right here who's sitting, and his neck is to the table, and he throws this other guy so hard it makes the other guy's neck snap. Or a really excellent 10-minute sequence, which one of the better action sequences I've seen in a long while. I mean, if I hate to say it, I like Bad Boys for Life. And I would say Bad Boys for Life is I would like it more than this, because that one I thought had less predictability. Bad Boys for Life, there's stuff I didn't see coming. Like what happens to Will Smith's character early on. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't see that coming. And, you know, the characters with more of the fun comedy. I thought the action in that was good, but I would say the action in this is better than the action in Bad Boys for Life. Because there's this 10-minute scene that's just insane. Because they make it look like one shot. They make it look like one shot with no cuts, where him and his kid get into his vehicle, they really decent car chase, cars flipping over, gunshots abound, looking like it's one shot. Then they get out of the car, then they get into this building, then they find these dirty cops, little bit of John Wick style, kills a bunch of them, then gets in a knife fight with a guy, then gets hit in a truck, then they get in a van. Like, this is all happening in one 10-minute sequence. Now, of course, I'm sure in reality, they make it, okay, they don't do a sweep here or a sweep there to cut. But the way they made it look like it's all done in one shot, I thought was really cool. Is it the first time this happened? No, there's films like Children of Men, and there's other movies that have done it, but I had not seen that done in a while, and I thought it was rather impressive. And the finale, he's using grenade launchers and shoots a shitload on the bridge. Like, this, Chris Hemsworth racks up a pretty impressive body count. The ending is a bit... what's the word I'm looking for? They make you question something, but at the same time I'm like, well, there's not much question, because they want to do a sequel with Chris Hemsworth and the makers. In fact, it's even on Chris Hemsworth IMDb announced. I'm like, well, if that's the case, then yeah. They make it seem as if he's dead or alive. Is he dead? Is he alive? But I'm like, well, if they want to do a sequel, and they're planning a sequel, it kind of makes sense, yes, he's alive. And that's what I mean, like, the plot, there's not a lot to say about the plot, because like I said, the villain, he's the type of nasty villain that will ask someone to cut their fingers off for him, because you touch my money. This is one guy, David Harbour, who's the new Hellboy, and you get the idea, yeah, okay, he's probably not the guy who's going to And then you think about it for a second, yep, he's the guy who's going to betray them. And he does. Because of the money. So like I said, it's a predictable film. Yes, it would have been nice if they put a little bit more ingenuity, a bit more creativity into its plot. Its characters. Again, Chris Hemsworth. If it wasn't because it's played by Chris Hemsworth, kind of all the tropes. He drinks too much. He's a loner. He's got a death wish. Early on, he does this thing where he jumps off a waterfall, whatever, a cliff, and then he tries to meditate at the bottom of the water. I'm like, what? You think you're Van Damme and kickboxer? So like I said, it's nothing original. It's nothing that will blow your mind. But if you want to see a film that has a couple really good, solid action and stunt sequences, including a very impressive, looking like one take action scene, and the gun handling, you could tell they were inspired a bit by John Wick. And that's one of the many things I love about John Wick, is that because of the John Wick films, you know how the Bourne films, they sadly inspired a lot of people. See, it's making my voice close and thinking about it. Shit. My voice literally caved in thinking about all the bullshit the Bourne Identity films did with the stupid cut. And then everyone decided to do that. It seems thankfully we've gotten away from that. And I think the John Wick films are a big reason why. Because I see how impressive with that and the sequels. And then thankfully they're becoming hits. And then people are taking notice. And they go, wow, that's badass. Okay, whether they're bad or good movies, Atomic Blonde and this movie and others, they're doing more and more with that. I appreciate that as an action movie fan. I appreciate that a lot. Once in a while, that bullshit will happen, but I'm glad that we seem to be getting more and more away from the Bourne shit. But yeah, I thought that the kid who he has to save, he did fine. He wasn't irritating. He wasn't annoying. He wasn't whiny at all. So I appreciate that. I think Chris Hemsworth, I thought, did a good job acting. I think he's a good actor. Like I said, he just doesn't always take the best scripts. And again, I wouldn't say this is the best script, but I guess this is one of those times that really it is the action sequences that saved it. And that's kind of what I wanted out of it. And I don't know, it was kind of refreshing. That was just a straightforward... It's like a McDonald's hamburger. People say it's not good for you. But at the same time, like, I know what I want. And I just wanted the hamburger. Now, yes, it'd be nice if I get the fries and chicken nuggets. That'd be great too. But if you just don't give me the hamburger, fine, give me the hamburger. And I'll eat it. And I'll enjoy it. And I might not remember it months from now, but I still liked it for what it was. So, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. I'd be interested in a sequel. Maybe get other writers. Keep the same director. Keep the same action sequence capability. Maybe get a writer to bring in a bit more to Chris Hemsworth's character. A bit more creativity in the plot. A bit more, wow, I didn't see that coming. Or, okay, that's a nice different take on it. So maybe some fresh writers would help with the sequel. And a villain that really you could sink your teeth into. Does this... Yeah. Oh yeah, there's one of the kids who was a bad guy. I wish that had come up, and that would have been nice. Because, spoiler alert, spoilers, he's the kid who he fought earlier and then shoots Chris Hemsworth in the neck, and then Chris falls into the water, And then you're supposed to assume, is he dead? Is he not? But then later on, our lead kid is swimming, sees a figure out in the distance, and then it cuts, and you're supposed to think, is that Chris? Is that not Chris? But yeah, the kid who shot him in the neck, I wish he got his comeuppance. That's one thing I wish would have happened. I wish someone like came up and broke that shitty kid's neck, or threw his head through a fucking fan or something. An airplane fan, I don't know. Hated that kid. I hated that kid. But you're supposed to hate him, but I wish someone was like, maybe with a shotgun, maniac style. I don't know. With that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.